I'm a bit worried about this next one, Harry. So we're going to go to West Brom,
Yeah.
and everybody wants Darren Moore to do well. One, because he's a black manager, and there's the diversity argument, and we want to see a black manager given a chance. There's always these quotas that they're never given a chance. The other is that he's an English manager, and that they never go for these guys. But is the Championship gonna eat up and spit out Darren Moore, who seems a lovely bloke who everybody wants to do well? What's going to happen here for West Brom?
Um, Big Dave is what they is his affectionate name there. They rate him. He obviously had that superb end to last season. They had that 5 game unbeaten run. They bloodied everyone's noses before they went down in the blaze of glory, as it were. And on the one side, they are worried because he doesn't have much. He's another manager. He's a rookie. It's his first time. He doesn't have much experience. And can they keep the feel-good factor from the end of last season? Can they carry that momentum forward? But just looking at what they've been doing in the transfer market, he has been very canny. Now you look at Stoke bringing in names like Tom Ince and James McLean, and um, he's he's been clever. He's got in Sam Johnson, the Man United keeper who was on loan last season at
Villa.
Villa. Yeah, he's brought in Kyle Bartley, who from Swansea, who I think Swansea shouldn't have let go.
Oh, he was
And
really good for
he
Leeds, wasn't
Leeds,
he? Yeah.
him and
Oh,
Pontus Jansson, they were like an absolute piece of a jigsaw. Clicked.
yeah.
They clicked together, and
Mm.
it was like somebody having their. I often think of it's like a spine. You suddenly click a vertebrae back into place, and it becomes absolutely,
Yeah, they were very good.
rock solid, rock solid. So who else has he brought in? It's been Barnes, the young lad from Harvey Barnes on loan from
Leicester.
Leicester. He's
Yeah.
a winger. So, there's no big names. He hasn't, pre-season, they haven't really used people like Craig Dawson, Solomon Rondon, Jay Rodriguez. They're still on the books. But he's kind of almost saying, well, okay, they're there. If I end up with them, fine. But if they go, well, we'll see what we do with the money. The one question mark I think I'd say is they've been playing with Hal Robson-Kanu up front. Now, we were joking about Connor Salmon yesterday and Derby fans. You get Reading fans on the subject of every club has a player where the forum just, you'll get a 40-page thread for fun. Robson Kanu was the player when he was at Reading. He just used to drive them mad. He was one of the 7 or 8 good games a season player when he was unplayable, as we saw when he scored that great goal for Wales against Belgium. He'll have a game like that, and you kind of go like Jet was for us. You kind of come away feeling emotional, and you expect him to do it next week, and hey presto, it doesn't quite happen. He's been playing. I know in one of the recent friendlies, their final game, they played the Cyril Regis Shield game against Coventry. To celebrate the life of the great man, and it's an inaugural thing. They're going to keep doing it. It was a brilliant occasion, but he did play Robson Kanu up front, and they feel with Robson Kanu that he's decent striker. Sadly, he just doesn't score enough goals to be a starting striker. They see him more as a switch-up option. So it'll be interesting to see whether Rondon Rodriguez, you'd expect them to go, but they could they could surprise us by suddenly making a late dash for a striker, and we'll see where that one goes. In terms of, I have a friend in Bath who's a West Brom supporter, and to be fair, it's a bit like the Stoke fans. A bit of it was, oh, thank God, we don't have to, we're not on the end of a mad queue for tickets. We're going to play some proper football teams. We can go to grounds
Score
where we're
some
going to enjoy
goals,
it,
win some
score some
games.
goals. And I think, there is a little bit of, this, yeah, and of course we all know that the Championship is one of the most directly, it's never ever dull. So from that point of view, they're not all, they're not crying in their boots about this. A lot of them are kind of quite philosophical about it. Yeah, the other interesting little theme there is the legacy of Pulis. I think they've been praising Moore because they've been talking about the style of play. It's little. What he's trying to do is he tries with short passing, 1-2, 1-2-3 passing to progress the team up the pitch. And as one of them said, it's not Pulis ball. They say, I think he really did leave his mark on that team. They said
Sounds very familiar, Harry.
Yeah, we have been Pulist for quite a while, and I want to see some stylish football was another quote that we had. So interesting. one other player to keep an eye out for is James Morrison, who it's a lot could hang on him, the midfielder. They've used him. He's been playing for them for pre-season. He's out of contract and he's negotiating with the club. His fitness, he missed a lot of last season, I think, with an Achilles injury. So they're kind of keen. I think they want to keep him, and he could be brilliant for them in the championship as a midfielder. But it's the old route march. Can he get through 46 games, and
Yeah.
how can a bit like it was McGoldrick with us? We know he's good enough, but it just can we keep him patched together? So, but yeah, we'll see what more. Looking at his transfer dealings and looking at the way he set the team up to play, he's been clever. He's gone about it the right way, and I think I hope it works for him. I can see it working. They're playing bright football. Again, that new generation of managers like we have with Hurst, who are training players to think for themselves on the pitch rather than just imposing the plan that's been given to them. That's something else that they talked about.
It's just
And
so sink or swim though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
There's you can imagine being a new manager and just looking down at your October when it's not going very well, and you're like, oh God, now I've got to go there on Tuesday and there on Saturday, and this guy's
yeah,
got injured, and I don't know, I don't
yeah,
know what I'm, where I'm going or what I'm doing next. It's that ability to think on your
yeah,
feet and stay
yeah.
relaxed that
A touch,
these.
a touch of what we talked about with Lampard yesterday. That you say you've had two poor performances, a draw and a defeat or whatever, and then you've suddenly got Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday coming up. You suddenly come out of them with nothing, and then you've suddenly gone 5 or 6 games, and without anything, and then suddenly the pressure's on, and you've got another game coming up in 4 or 5 days' time. It's the relentlessness of it, but we'll see. The way they're set up now, it's I think Moore seems to have, he seems to have gone about things in a very good way, and we'll see. But I'm not whether they're good enough to go back up again. I'm just looking at the team that he's built. It's he's kind of gone with four at the back, three in the middle. You've got a back four of, I mean, look at the back four: Craney, Bartley, Higazi, Gibbs. That's I think we're looking top six here. Livermore and Brunt behind Morrison, Phillips on one side, Barnes on the other, and then at the moment Robson Kanu. It's a well balanced team he's put together, and you could see them getting into the top six. Whether they've enough, they could be a striker short.
Mm,
That might be the thing to kind of get them from. That could be the difference between those 7 or 8 goals or 10 goals. Could be the difference between fifth and sixth, and maybe second or third.
very
Interesting,
good. Very,
interesting.
very good indeed, Harry.